Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Evanston. I'm Sally Parsons, one of your board trustees. My pronouns are she and her. I'm here with our ministerial intern, Dr. Emma Farrell. Whether this is your spiritual home or you are newly discovering this community, we're grateful to share this time together with you. We strive to be an inclusive and welcoming community, seeking truth and love and nurturing the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. We come together to remember our kinship with one another and to hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention, and to dedicate ourselves more fully to live our shared values. Welcome to those joining us online. We hope you have your chalices ready. People of all ages are welcome, an important part of our faith community. We are blessed to have the children in the sanctuary for the first half of every service, and the entire service is for all ages about once a month. The nest in the front is our designated area for families with young children, where we have quiet fidget toys and activities in a kid-friendly order of service. Nursery care is available every Sunday in room 11 in the lower level, which you can access via the stairs at the back of the sanctuary. As part of being a welcoming and inclusive community, we have some information posted on the screen that will help orient you to UCE and our service. A few announcements. Bike the Ridge is happening right now. Before you head home, walk down to the Greenwood Ridge intersection and hang out at our UCE table and greet the bikers. We are recognizing Marilyn Robluski and Andy Schlickman as our vision keepers this year at the annual Interfaith Action of Evanston Vision Keepers Dinner on October 26th. We need to reserve our UCE tables for the dinner by October 1st, which is coming up. So if you haven't already, let Tony Ray know you will be attending. Please see her at a program table at the back of the cafe area after the service today. Wondering how to create a will, can help care for loved ones and support causes like UCE? Join the Endowment Committee next Sunday, October 5th at noon in room 6 on Zoom, for a practical session with local attorney Thomas Denman on the basics of wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and charitable giving. For details or a Zoom link, contact Topher Carrington or Alexa Avery. A week from Tuesday, October 7th at 7 p.m., we will have our first AI workshop, AI 101, what it is and how it works. More information is in the weekly newsletter. And now I invite Reverend Susan to come up and share the results of the Realm Raffle from our engagement fair.
I'm inviting Amira and Miles up to help me display. All right. Oh, my little thing didn't make it. But we had a fabulous engagement fair last week. We had 233 people last week. It was wonderful. And as you know, we're continuing to encourage all of you, thank you, to update your profile in Realm. So your emergency contact, a photo, your skills and interests. So folks who stepped up to Adam or Kathy Diamant to get help with Realm during the engagement fair got entered into the Realm raffle. And so I'm here to announce who won. So this fabulous little poster, which has our new UU values, there's one on the bulletin board in the lobby that you can check out, but this is Gray Wiviat's prize. Yeah. And if you're here, stand up and I'll come find you afterwards. And then, courtesy of the Serendipity auction, we have 2 t-shirts, and those go to Dennis Wilson and Jen Weisgarber. So if you're here this morning, come find me. I hope all of you will support Serendipity auction as it's coming up with your donations, your bids, and your attendance at the luncheon. And thank you all for being here for our engagement fair. If you're still looking for a way to plug in, please come find me.
I want one of those t-shirts if nobody claims them. I'm not like that. I like t-shirts. And now let us settle in together, gather our attention, and share this time of reflection, celebration, and inspiration. As we begin our worship service, let's quiet our electronics and our bodies as we join in beloved community. Welcome to worship. is beautiful. Land and labor acknowledgement. The Unitarian Church of Evanston resides on land that was recorded as being transferred from the local Potawatomi community to the U.S. government in 1829. Shortly before the Potawatomi in this area were forcefully removed west of the Mississippi River. This land was then sold to white settlers. We remember the ancestors of contemporary African Americans, the individuals, families, and networks of Black people who built up our country's culture and our economy, a role forced on them originally by enslavement. We acknowledge the impacts of the intentional violence of the Middle Passage and enslavement, which echo through the generations and remain a reality today. We offer these acknowledgments as one small effort toward building long-term solidarity with contemporary communities. We commit ourselves to incorporate these admissions into our lives and turn our thoughts into actions. Please join in our words of shared commitment. We name these realities with honor for all the ancestors, respect for our descendants, and gratitude to the land we use as sacred space. Tony Ray will light our chalice this morning in honor of our congregation's connection with Interfaith Action of Evanston. As she lights our chalice, symbol of our living tradition, please join in saying the words, "Spark of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life and each other." Please rise in body or spirit and join in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and help one another. Before we sing our opening hymn, I invite those joining us online to greet each other in the chat, and those gathered in the sanctuary to turn to one another briefly to say good morning, trying to greet someone who is new to you. And then your students.
Please stay after the service and continue your conversations. If you are new to UCE, we invite you to stop by the welcome table. It's the table at the back of the sanctuary with the red tablecloth. Please join us there to get more information about our community. Let's keep creating new relationships and building kinship among us. Please rise to join in singing our opening hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Stardust by Ellen Kelsey, artwork by Suya Kim. You are stardust. Every tiny atom in your body came from a star that exploded long before you were born. You started life as a single cell. So did all other creatures on planet Earth. Like fish deep in the ocean, you called salt water home. You swam inside the salty sea of your mother's womb. Salt still flows through your veins, your sweat, and your tears. The sea within you is as salty as the ocean. From ocean to sky, to land and back again, the same water has been quenching thirsts for millions of years. You learn to speak the same way baby birds learn to sing, by chatting with your parents. Mama, ma, tweet, tweet, tweet. Be still. Listen. Like you, the earth breathes. Your breath is alive with the promise of flowers. Each time you blow a kiss to the world, you spread pollen that might grow to be a new plant. Inside your brain, electricity stronger than lightning powers your every thought. You sneeze with the force of a tornado. Wind rockets from your nose quicker than a cheetah sprints. You grow at night when your bones are resting, just like the sheep you count to help you sleep. You may sprout even taller in the spring and summer, just like the plants in your garden. Your hair falls like autumn leaves. You tend to shed the most hair in early autumn and save your thickest growth for the heart of winter. Your body constantly changes. New cells line your stomach every 3 days. You'll replace your skin 100 times by the time you turn 10. Just as forests grow new trees in the place of old ones, you grow entirely new skeletons throughout your life. If you were a planet, you'd be a lot like Earth. Rainforests on land and algae in the oceans are the Earth's lungs. From your head to your toes, inside and out, billions of teeny microorganisms live on planet U. You know how it feels to be a good friend, and so do other animals. Bats and sperm whales get their friends to babysit. Elephants remain best buddies for life. You, me, birds flying throughout the rainforest. We are all connected. We are all nature. We are all stardust.
To all settle into a time of quiet reflection as we share our joys and sorrows. If you have a joy or a sorrow you would like spoken aloud, you can tell us in various ways. There's a book at the back of the sanctuary, there's a form on the UCE website, or you can email one of the ministers. We listen to these offerings with tenderness and with respect. Let us all quiet our bodies and voices during this sacred time by breathing in together and breathing out. These are the joys and the sorrows that have been shared before the service today. Chris Allender shares so much gratitude for Chris Yu, who was the very first to make our Serendipity fundraiser thermometer rise. While most are just starting to think about how they'll join in, Chris has already donated money, bought raffle tickets, donated auction items, and even agreed to co-chair the viewing luncheon. Thank you, Chris, and all of you who pitch in to make the annual fundraiser such a success. We have a sorrow from Andy Fisher, who shares, "We drove all the way up to Racine, Wisconsin yesterday, but could not sail because the inner drawbridge was stuck down and would not open. What a bummer." We have another sorrow today from Harry Hirsch, who shares that James Egbert, son of the late UCE member Judith Ramsey, died last week at the age of 64. James was born with Down syndrome and lived a happy life, worked in a sheltered workshop, and loved to imitate his idol Michael Jackson, complete with moonwalk. We hold James in our hearts. We also have a sorrow from Laura, Josh, and Court LaPratt Goodrich family. They share that Laura's father passed away peacefully yesterday, Saturday, at the age of 83, surrounded by family and friends. His love for his family, children, grandchildren, animals, and especially his Michigan State Spartans was unparalleled. We hold him in our hearts too. Sharing these concerns of the heart is part of the practice of beloved community. Together we expand our celebrations and we lessen the burden of our grief. You are invited to light a candle and to drop a stone into the well of tears at one of the 3 stations throughout the sanctuary. There's one up front and one at the back on either side. As we do with love, when you light the candles, please start from the center and move out to the edges. Please come forward now or at any time during the service. And if you would like a candle brought to you, please raise your hand. please join me in a moment of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, of the emergent, interconnected unfolding of things, we come today as one people, one spirit, one collective breath. May we take the time to remember today the ways that we are interconnected. May the illusions of separateness fall away so we can see more clearly the oneness of everything and everyone. And may we aspire to live into that interconnectedness and care for one another. All of us need all of us. May we remember as we witness one another and the unfolding of things, as we carry each other in our hearts. Amen. As we sing our response, number 413, Go Now in Peace, feel free to name the holy as you are moved. And our young people, preschool through 9th grade, are invited to head to their faith formation time with their adult leaders.
As we say in our covenant each Sunday, service is our law. UCE is called by our mission, our values, and our principles to contribute to our community, to form accountable partnerships, and to express added gratitude through giving. The offering this month is shared with Building Peaceful Bridges, whose mission is to foster multicultural relationships by assisting in the integration of newcomers into American society and educating communities on the challenges facing newcomer populations through their stories. You may text to give, mail in a check, put cash in the collection bowls, or give from our website. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering or some other giving. The ushers will now come forward to pass the collection bowls down the rows. Please give as generously as you're able, and may what you give bring you joy. Thank you again, Gregory. And thank you all for your generosity. Einstein's letter to Robert S. Marcus. Einstein wrote this letter to his grieving friend after the death of his son. A human being is a part of the whole, called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. A human experiences themselves, their thoughts and feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. The striving to free oneself from this delusion is the one issue of true religion. Not to nourish it, but to try to overcome it is the way to reach the attainable measure of peace of mind.
I don't need to tell you about the divisiveness that's everywhere, especially in the political landscape right now. And it's hard. I was talking to someone recently about how angry it makes them. It makes me angry, too. I don't think I need to give you examples, and I don't want to give airspace to any of you. But I do want to invite you to take a moment with me and bring to mind someone that you are being told to hate in one way or another. Someone that you may be angry with and feeling different and separate from. Maybe it's a single person, a politician, although maybe don't bring the worst politician to mind, but someone to mind that has been made to be different than you in ways that make you angry or scared. Someone that you deeply disagree with. Or maybe it's even a whole group of people. I want to invite you to just notice what comes up without any judgment. Just getting curious about your own experience. What's real for you as you think about them? I'll give you a moment. So I'm inviting you to do this exercise this morning because the truth I want to share with you today is about the lie of our separateness. Just as the messages of division we hear in the world are self-defeating, so too are our messages of division because we are not separate. The reading this morning shows the mystical side of Albert Einstein. He was often considered a mystic by many. He said, a human being is part of the whole who experiences a kind of optical delusion of separateness. Babies, they know this. They feel it. They know no difference between the world around them and what is in them. This delusion of separateness is a kind of a prison for us. It restricts us to our personal desires and affection for a few people nearest to us. But we are connected in so many ways, and it's hard sometimes to really see and understand and feel that. But we're connected chemically, emotionally, ecologically, psychologically, economically, spiritually. So to try and bring that concept of our oneness out of the abstract and to just illustrate one of the many ways we are interconnected, I'm going to take you on a little journey, a biochemical journey. For those who don't know, before I went to seminary, I was a biochemist. So I'd like you to think of this as a guided story, almost a meditation. Feel free to close your eyes if it helps with the visualization. In the beginning, or what we call the beginning, there was no sound, only the wild, roiling physics of the universe's earliest moments. And from this state, space itself suddenly stretched and bloomed in an unimaginably enormous and majestic inflation. Not an audible bang, but a rapid expansion. One speck of that cosmic energy becomes part of a star. And then in a moment that stretches millions of years, the death of the star forms an oxygen atom. Released in a final brilliant pulse at the star's death, the oxygen atom is shot into space where it combines with elemental hydrogen to form water. As it forms, so too does a comet form around it. The comet drifts through the void of space and eventually lands on a small, wet, wibbly-wobbly planet. That oxygen atom lays locked together with hydrogen for over 1 billion years on Earth, until a cyanobacterium, a single self-replicating cell, unlocks it through photosynthesis. The molecule of oxygen released from its water floats up and swirls around in the atmosphere until it enters a human lung. Let's all take a breath together. Feel your chest rise and imagine that one molecule of oxygen journeying across time and space and now moving through you. Imagine the oxygen molecule diffusing through the lungs into the blood and scooped up by a molecule of hemoglobin inside a red blood cell. It's then carried through the body, and the oxygen is metabolized in countless chemical reactions and eventually becomes part of a molecule of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This single oxygen atom, connected with several other atoms, has an emergent impact on the larger organism it's now a part of. Oxytocin in the body of a mammal stimulates a feeling of belonging and connection. If you're comfortable, I invite you to place a hand on your heart or take the hand of a willing neighbor. Notice if your body softens. If you're connected with someone, you may begin to feel the effects of oxytocin within about 6 seconds. It reduces stress and anxiety. It promotes feelings of trust, empathy, overall well-being, and of course, bonding. The oxygen atom, through its interactions with other atoms, is now a part of a connection between two human beings, helping them recognize and remember their inherent belonging to each other. Having done its job, the oxytocin is then catabolized in the liver, and the oxygen atom ends up in a molecule of carbon dioxide, which the human breathes out. Will you breathe out with me? As the human breathes out the carbon dioxide, a nearby plant, Arabidopsis thaliana, breathes it in. We breathe out, we feed the plants. We breathe in, the plant exhales to feed us. We exhale, the plant inhales. We inhale, the plant exhales. Your body and the plants part of one shared breath. Let us exhale one more time, imagining the molecule of carbon dioxide exiting our lungs, floating through the air and entering the stoma of the plant. The oxygen atom, part of a carbon dioxide molecule, is drawn into the leaf's chloroplast, where it's incorporated into a molecule of starch, becoming part of the plant matter. Eventually, the plant dies, decomposes, and becomes soil. The oxygen atom is now part of the soil. From the primordial material to a star, to a molecule of oxygen, deposited as water, released again into the atmosphere as oxygen, taken in by a human, exhaled, and then taken in by a plant, and then eventually becoming soil. Does the oxygen atom belong to the soil? To the plant? To the human? To the star? That is not the question. The oxygen is the human, is the plant, is the soil, is the star. And this is happening on a scale of billions upon billions of atoms, constantly in flux, moving. If we adjust our lenses to look at a molecular level, there is no distinction between any of these parts. It is simply a continual unfolding, a series of direct lines between you and me and the plants and the soil and everything else, cycling over and over in constant motion. Energetically, chemically, we are the unfolding of the Big Bang. In the scale of the universe, the idea of you being separate from me is an illusion. It's a myopic distortion of self-importance. Loyal Rue, American philosopher of religion, said, "The universe is a single reality, one long, sweeping, spectacular process of interconnected events." The universe is not a place where evolution happens. It is the evolution happening. It's not a stage on which drama unfolds. It is the unfolding drama itself. And I think our work is to rest into this truth and remember who we are. We are the universe. We inherently belong. And I think there are some implications to that. First, I think it's important to recognize that we are already at home in the bosom of one another, literally. Creating spaces of belonging like this is our nature. And it honors the inherent fact of our interconnectedness. Attuning to our inherent belonging is living into our nature. Secondly, I think the implications of this inherent belonging also means we are in each other's care. Belonging means recognizing not just that we affect one another, but living as if those effects matter, because they do. I forget daily. The delusion of separateness creeps back in. I forget especially when I'm tired or angry, when I see cruelty as a public spectacle, when people act in ways that further the delusion of separateness, and I get drawn into it. It's part of our nature too. But religious naturalist and scientist Ursula Goodenough, highly recommend, she said the role of religion is to integrate cosmology and morality. So places like this, places of religion and meaning making, they can help us remember our interconnectedness so that we can live in alignment with that nature. Will you remember with me? Will you notice your breath with me? The atoms in the air of your lungs have been in temporary configurations with the atoms in one another's bodies, with the plants, with the soil, with the stars. We are not separate. As Einstein said, the striving to free oneself from this delusion is the one true issue of religion. So our task then is to free ourselves from the prison, the delusion of separateness, by widening our circle of compassion. What might it look like to live into this belonging in our congregation, in our neighborhoods, and in our politics? When a child who is not our own cries in the grocery store, can we feel our own nervous systems attuning? When a refugee family arrives in town, do we see strangers or do we recognize kin? When someone we disagree with politically is sick or grieving, can we still extend the circle of care? Can we still want them to be free from suffering and the root of all suffering, just as we want for ourselves and our loved ones? And that person you brought to mind at the beginning of this sermon, the one who feels different, the one you may be angry at, can we hold them in compassion too? Can we express our differences not with hatred or violence, but with concern and love, with the deeper knowing that they also belong? Maybe even seeing the tragedy of how scared they might be. What happened to them that caused them to act the way they're acting? Yes, we will resist their harmful actions. We will have boundaries for ourselves and our loved ones, but we will resist without adopting their tactics or their worldviews, choosing to widen the circle instead of hardening the walls. Because the good news embedded in the inherent truth of our interconnectedness is this: what we do matters. How you move in the world ripples out. You and you and you and me. If we can find our courage and our audacious hope, we can be the change. We can use our free will to the full extent of our imagination, and we can create the kinds of places we want to see in the world. We already belong. We belong to each other. We belong to the unfolding of things. We are the unfolding of things. May your breath, your body, and your being bear witness to the beauty of that truth. Ashe, and blessed be.
As we extinguish the chalice, please join in saying the words on the screen by the Reverend Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn.
Beloveds, as we go from this place, remember that every breath is shared. With the shifting collection of atoms we call trees, with the vast oceans, and with one another. You already belong. May your body remember it, may your heart feel it, and may your living bear witness to the beauty of that truth. Go in peace, go in love, go in belonging.